Fifth thing you can monitor to help with your alignment, I want you to monitor your ability to disconnect without drama. Let me tell you why this is important. There are some things in your life that just ain't gonna work. There's some jobs that ain't gonna work. There's some relationships that ain't gonna work. There's some family dynamics that's gonna fall apart over time. There are some business ideas that you're gonna try that are gonna fall apart. There's just some things in your life that ain't gonna work. And your ability to disconnect from things in your life without drama speaks to, for real, a sense of peace that comes only through alignment. Aligned people, people whose hearts, thoughts, and spirits agree, even when they have to disconnect from a space, they can do it and still have peace. This is why. And people will lie to you. If you out here dating, especially talking to you single people, if you out here dating, one of the best questions you can ask a person is, how do you manage rejection? I'll tell you why. And they can lie. So you better use some discernment. And if you ain't sure, just wait. How do you manage rejection? You know why? Because if that person can't handle rejection well, if things ever go wrong between y'all, it's going to be drama. The only people that create drama through disconnection are people who don't handle disconnection well, who don't handle rejection well. The only people that create drama through disconnection are people that don't handle rejection well. How do you handle rejection? When was the last time you've been rejected? Not just rejected from something you kind of wanted, rejected from something you really wanted. Somebody said, Danielle, I hope I'm saying your name right. My daughter heard you and pops in my room saying 6'7". I had to tell her, take her butt back to bed. Miss Simmons, you tell your Simons, you tell your daughter I said, what's up? See, y'all gotta be hip. Y'all just be out of the way. I see one of my other clients on here. Child, you know my drama. Nah, I'm proud of you, C. I am. I'm proud of you, C. I see the comments on Instagram now. I just had to refresh the stream, I guess. I'm serious, y'all. How do people disconnect with drama? How do they disconnect when they reject it? This is how I know a lot of people ain't as healed as they think they are. Yeah, Doc, Doc, I've been rejected before, Doc, but I just learned how to just take it with a grain of salt. I learned how to take it with a grain of salt. I just take that rejection with a grain of salt. You do? What is that? What does the grain of salt mean? Talk. You know why? Because the first time something doesn't go their way, look at their reaction. Folk be telling themselves, watch their reaction. Stuff doesn't go their way. Watch how they react. And it's a sign. And what does some of us do? We turn the discernment off. Well, they said they can handle discernment. Maybe they're just being human. And we turn the discernment off. When things don't go their way, you better pay attention and respond. I'm telling you from experience. Pay attention and respond accordingly, because they're letting you know they don't do rejection well. Doc, I don't get salty. Say salty with a lisp. Salty. I don't get salty. Oh my God. I don't get salty. Yeah, you do. You get mad when things don't go your way. Pay attention and move in a different direction. You better cut your discernment on. Or if not, these people will have you thinking something wrong with you when really they just can't handle rejection. This is why some of y'all need to support. Some of y'all need to send this to some folks. Yeah, they don't have conflict resolution skills. I'm with you, see. I'm just telling y'all, you better ask. Or else your career gonna be in first class and you're gonna have to get off that plane and wait for Mr. or Mrs. Salty to get off the plane. Because they in seat 32A. I'm not sitting back there. And y'all better stop connecting with people who like to sit in the back of the plane because they don't have conflict resolution skills, because they can't handle rejection. Because they get all into a tizzy when things don't go their way. Some of y'all be dating and it ain't always romantic. Sometimes this is friendships. Some of y'all got some friends. Some of you have friends that can't disconnect a friendship without drama. You know, y'all have been friends for 15 years, had a disagreement, a misunderstanding. You decide to go your own way, and you going to take 15 years and throw it in the trash, which is your choice, but you don't have enough maturity and emotional regulation to disconnect in a healthy way. Y'all don't. Yeah, some of y'all do be. Let me tell you something. I saw something that just made me shake my head. Me and the kids were riding back from the Dominican Republic. Let me share this and then I'm going to give y'all 6 and I'm done. Y'all give me about 10 more minutes. We were riding back from the Dominican Republic. I had to sit across from the kids. So I typically ride in seat 3C or 3A. So I was in 5. It was the last row in first. And I was on the edge because my kids were on the opposite side in first. And I had to ride near them. I wanted to be near them going. I was on the row ahead of them, but adjacent. So, but they're fine. My kids are pros at traveling, things like that. Well, coming back, we were all on 5. So they were on that side in 5, and I was on the opposite side in 5. So I was right there in the aisles between us, and there was a person sitting next to me. It was a woman. She was a nice lady, but her boyfriend was sitting behind us. Behind us was where coach started, right? So behind us, you know, they have the curtain. Then there are 3 seats behind us. In first, it's 2 on this side, 2 on this side, 2 on this side, you know, for the 5 rows. Then there's the curtain. Then there's 3 behind, row 5 on each side, and then 3 all the way back to the plane. Where her boyfriend was sitting behind her in row 6 to the window. I didn't know they were boyfriend and girlfriend. They get on a plane, they're just talking coming down the aisle because I was already seated. They're talking coming down the aisle, and he, you know, he just keeps going and she comes on in. And then I noticed he came in the row behind us. How did I know it? Because for the entire trip, he was reaching through the side of the seats, hitting her, playing jokes, tapping on her shoulder, saying stuff like, "Oh, you're fancy up there in first class. You fancy." I couldn't be up there. He was joking. Mm, I I guess both of us couldn't ride up there. You fancy it. And she was just like, "Cut it out, Scott. Cut it out, Scott. You know, you're so funny, Scott. Cut it out. You're just such a comedian. Cut it." And he's just joking her. And then the people came to give us the warm towels and stuff. And he yelled up there, "Hey, ma'am, I'm with her. Can I have a warm towel?" And started like, ha, 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 ha. And he was just like, and she was just up there chuckling, hee, 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 hee. And meanwhile, I was getting agitated the whole time. Number one, this is why I don't sit in seat 5. Oh my God. Doc, you bougie. So number one, that's why I don't sit in seat 5. I'd never seen that before. I just like 3. It's kind of in the middle. So he up the whole playing the whole time. So my arm is right here. He reaches under the seat next to my arm and he taps her in her side to make her laugh. So his hand, here's my arm. His hand is coming up right here and he taps her on the shoulder. And I'm on my arm and I looked at his hand and I looked at her and I said, "Ma'am, can you get your man?" It's saying, Scott was letting you know, here, let me tell you something. Scott ain't had to worry about me. Not at all. Because let me tell you something. Here's a word for y'all. You might be riding first class, but some folk riding and don't deserve to be up there. Oh my God. Because let me tell you something. If you in first class and you got to entertain your man who ain't in first class, and y'all can take this literally and figuratively. If you in first class and entertaining people that ain't in first class, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what you gonna do with me? This is why Some of y'all, let me just go ahead and just make this real plain. Some of y'all gonna mess around and miss what you could have because you really do belong in first class. But when you entertain people that ain't in your class, guess what it does to your value? Some of y'all would have been married by now if you would have stopped dealing with people in coach. If you would have let Scott stay back there. Some of y'all would have been in first. You would have been married by now. You would have been had the dream man, the dream woman, if you would have let Scott stay back where he was. Oh my God. So I knew sister's mentality because ain't no way in ham sandwich. I would be up there and Susie be behind me, poke me. Hey, doc, if you don't get your tail up here or get off this plane, here's a word. Don't y'all miss what you could have for Scott. Oh my God. Don't miss what you deserve because of Scott. Some of y'all, you didn't met your husband. You didn't met your wife, but you fooling, you too busy messing with Scott. just t-shirt coming. Arkita, Brittany, I need a t-shirt that says leave Scott alone. Brittany and Arkita, if y'all are on this live, I need a shirt that says leave Scott alone. And I need one for men that says leave Sarah in the back. Oh my God. I'm so serious. Y'all didn't miss your husband because you playing around with Scott back then, coach, and he just agitating and annoying you in first class. He just agitated. The lady couldn't even eat her food. They brought the food out. You know, they give her the tray first because she's on the inside. They gave her the tray, gave me the tray. I'm sitting there trying to eat, and he's still raising his hand up there. And I just finally had enough to say, hey man, get Scott, man. Like, and then she turned that way and said, you gotta cut it out. There are other people up here. Stop. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with Sally. I'm with Sally. Let's do Sally. Leave Sally in the back. Leave Scott alone and leave Sally in the back. Don't y'all miss your husband and wife because you wasting time with Scotts and Sally's? Folk are looking at some of y'all right now. But look at where you are wasting your time. Look at what you're wasting your time on. Look at what you're wasting your time on. I'm telling you, some of y'all got the goods. Men and women, y'all got the goods. But baby, if you don't get them Scotts and Sally's out your life and stop dating them and trying to give them a chance and sit in first class, you can get with some people on your level. That's free game. I tried. You got a new, that's fine. I got a really good question. I have a newborn with a Scott. Y'all can raise that kid. You can raise your newborn with a Scott, but that don't mean Scott got to be in your life romantically. Oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. Because some of y'all made these babies before you got this information. Knowledge is power. Now we got to apply it. Leave Scott and Sally in coach. I looked at, my kids saw what was going on and they were embarrassed. They were doing like this. We laughed. We start texting each other. And I said, and it was either Giselle and 4. I think it was Giselle. Giselle said, Daddy, I give him 6 months. Oh my God. And she 13. Daddy, I give him 6 months. I said, that's generous, Giselle. 6th and final thing to pay attention to, and I'm done. Yeah, my kids, boy, they brutally honest too. Leave Scott and Sally in coach. I like that. Tanisha, if you'll let me have that. I like that too. We might do that too. Yes, she did. Yeah, my daughter did. My kids, we talk about this stuff. We talk about this stuff. We were talking about so many people in the Dominican Republic, couples that was over there not talking. Let me tell you something. My kids, I don't just be sitting there teaching y'all. I talk to my kids. I believe in that. Yeah, we laughing at folks. Daddy, look at them. They ain't even talk. I'm telling you, my kids are very observant, very smart. Number six, 6, 7, 6. I could split 6 up, and then we would have 6, 7. Y'all want me to split 6 up so we'll have 57? How would Scott and Sally say 6, 7? They'd be like 57. Here comes the corny nerd. If Scott and Sally split up number 6, what would it be? 57. Here's my new joke. If Scott and Sally split up 6 and 7, what would it be? 57. Oh man, I'm cracking myself up. All right, I'm hurrying up because I know somebody on TikTok is looking at their clock, Miss April. But that is a great joke. Oh my God. Sean, clip it. I need you to clock it, brother. If Scott and Sally split up 6, what would it be? 57. All right, it's 11:20. All right, let me hurry up. I know I'm clearly getting sleepy, but this is blessing me. I gotta say it one more time. If Scott and Sally decides to break up, how many weeks were they together? 57. All right, let me hurry up. I am. I'm gonna say it. Y'all leave me alone. This is my show. This is my show. You don't like it? Donate, and maybe the live will be up. I'm getting to it. But this is cracking me up. You hear me? All right, number 6. Sixth thing I want you to monitor for your alignment is pay attention to what I call self-induced drama. Self-induced drama. Pay attention to self-induced drama. Pay attention to self-induced drama. If you want to know if your alignment is off, look at the drama in your life and pay attention to it and see how much of that is self-induced. There's 2 types of self-induced drama. One is actions, one is attitude. 2 types of self-induced drama. Actions, and your attitude. A lot of our actions, behavior, create self-induced drama. You can't be mad if you cheating and you stressed out. Oh my God. Thank you, Leanne. I'm crazy. Y'all talking about, some of y'all talking about, I'm so stressed out. I'm so stressed out. Well, you got a whole roster and they active. They not sitting on the bench. You playing 5 people at the same time. If you cheating and playing 5 people at the same time, don't you think you're going to be a little stressed out? Your actions have created self-induced drama. Or you'd have been cheated on 5, 6 times. No. You've been cheated on 57 times. Your actions have created self-induced drama. So you have to pay attention to that, right? So there are 2 types of self-induced drama: actions and attitude. Y'all, let me tell you something. Your attitude affects everything about your life. from relationships to connections to career. Let me tell y'all something. Your attitude affects everything. If you don't like your career and you skilled, you got the degrees, you got the experience, you got all of that stuff, but you ain't moving, let me tell you a good place to start. Start with your attitude. Uh-oh. This is a true story. I'm going to end it on this. I'm going to end it on this post office story. I need 3 minutes to tell it. And I'm going to try to leave Scott and Sally out of this. True story. I went to a new post office near where I was, near where I live. The post office I used to go to, sometimes I would take packages there. They would hate to see me coming because I got these packages and stuff. And they would hate to see me, this particular post office would hate to see me coming. And you could tell, you walk in, they doing all like this. Oh, oh. Ridiculously ghetto. Ridiculously ghetto. And FYI, in case some of y'all guessing, ghetto ain't a color, it's an attitude. Oh my God. Ridiculously ghetto. Do all this stuff when I'm walking in. Well, I've been going to this post office for months. They had been accepting my stuff, but you could tell they didn't want to help me. They didn't want to deal with all the stuff that I had going on. Though I was a really good paying customer of that post office. They didn't want to deal with all the stuff I was going on. So, as fate would have it, 2 days ago, in between sessions, I need to run out. And I said, you know what? Let me see if I can find another post office because I got some complicated things and I really don't feel like being around no attitude today. I don't. Let me see if I can find, just try, even if it's further out. Well, lo and behold, there's a post office that's just 2 miles, longer of a drive. It's in a different direction, but 2 miles longer. I said, let me try this post office. I walk in, I got some packages and stuff. I got my usual complicated stuff. I walk in. And when I walked in, guy, white gentleman behind the counter, there were 2 people in front of me. He sees me in line. I got this stuff there, and I'm looking at him because he's the only one in there. And I'm thinking to myself, Lord, this man, he's going to probably, I got to do all of this stuff. And so I walked up to the counter. He came to me. He said, hey, hi, sir. I love your hat. I said, thank you. He said, what can I help you with? So I told him what I needed. He said, He said, so how have you normally processed it? He says, this is your first time here. I've never seen you before. I said, yes, sir. He said, how have you normally processed this? And so I told him what the other post office has been having me do. And how when I walked in, I was doing what they asked me to do, but they were really frustrated about it. He said, let me tell you why they're frustrated. He said, because there's this form you can use that if you just use this form, you can put some things on this form, and then that way you can process things a whole lot faster by just passing them the form. They'll give you a buggy and you can go from there. So he's explaining this. I said, just a form? He said, yes, sir, that's it. I said, so you're telling me that I've been going to this post office for nearly a year, and they've been getting frustrated and getting attitudinal with me when all they had to do was just say, hey, sir, there's a form you can use that you can do this, and it'll make you coming in and out faster. You don't have to worry about all this stuff. And I said, just the form. He said, yes, sir, that's all it took. He showed me what the form was. He said, well, you don't have it today. He said, but don't worry about it. Let's do it the way you've been doing it. But here's the form. This is what you need. Do this, do this, do this. And that's that. The man fixed my problem in 4 minutes. And you know what I learned? Let me tell you what I learned. Some folk ain't getting promoted because they got a bad attitude. Some people, your attitude is the reason you are working where you are, and you deserve to be there. Oh my God. You cannot have a Popeye's attitude working at Chick-fil-A. You cannot have a Popeye's attitude working at Chick-fil-A. And so here I am doing all of this stuff for months and months and months and months and months on end. And instead of them helping me solve it, they were so frustrated and so attitudinal about what I needed that they didn't have the patience to just tell me. And this gentleman just met me, and he's earned a new customer. I'm not going back to that post office. I will carve it into my schedule, the time necessary to drive to the one that I need to, because the service is right. If you don't like where you're working, fix your attitude. You might get a better job. And I don't mean no shade because I have friends that work for the post office, but let me tell you something. Them attitudes, they don't even deserve a post office job. Oh my God. Your attitude can create self-inflicted drama, self-induced drama. And fortunately, I ain't ghetto like them, so I wasn't giving back to them what they was giving to me. I have business to take care of. I don't care about that. And in the words of my kids, if you don't like working here, why are you here? My kids, that's how my kids talk. Where do you think they got that from? We have gone to restaurants and folk have walked up to us. We went to this restaurant, last story, and I'm gone because it's 11:29. This lady walked up. She was the waitress. She walked up with her pad and just stood at the table. She didn't say nothing. She walked up and stood at the table. My kids looked at me like, you know what I said? Slide over. I'm trying to see some on that wall. Oh my God. Right hand raised. Ma'am, can you move out the way? I'm trying to see some on that wall. You know what she said? I'm sorry. I'm just here to take your order. Then why didn't you say that? You can have a skill set. You can have degrees. But your attitude will be a true reflection of where you're working. Your attitude will be a true reflection. Your attitude will be a true reflection of your ability to be mobile. There are people that are less talented than you that have better attitudes that will do better. Y'all don't like this. I don't care. Thank you for your support, Angela. There are a whole lot of people that ain't as smart as you, that ain't as degreed as you, that ain't as connected as you, that ain't as intelligent as you, that's doing better because they got something you ain't got, a good attitude. And that, my friends, can create some misalignment as well. Was this helpful? Listen, y'all, I hope this made sense. If it did, I want you to type church in the comments with 3 R's. And then I want you to remember you've got 2 jobs. 1, be better today than what you were yesterday. And 2, don't forget what I told you.